Moses is honored in the Jewish tradition as a person of unequaled spiritual character. Judaism, Christianity and Islam acknowledge Moses as a great prophet. Traditionally, Moses is credited with writing the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, which are also known as the Pentateuch, the Torah, or the books of Moses. Yet outside of the Bible, Moses is unknown to history. The Hebrew Bible is the primary source for a biography of Moses. Moses was born when the Egyptian Pharaoh had commanded that all male Hebrew children should be killed. The Torah did not reveal the identity of this king, or Pharaoh. Many believe him to be Ramses II, although this has been increasingly disputed in recent years. According to the biblical narrative, Jochebed, the wife of Amram, bore a son and kept him concealed for 3 months. When she could not hide the baby no longer, she set him adrift on the Nile in a small craft made of bulrushes coated in pitch. The daughter of the Pharaoh discovered the baby and adopted him as her son, naming him Moses. Moses' sister Miriam observed the progress of the boat and asked the princess if she would like a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. Jochebed was employed as the child's wet nurse. After being weaned, he was brought again to Pharaoh's daughter and was raised as her son, a prince of Egypt. When Moses grew to manhood, he witnessed an Egyptian mistreating a Hebrew slave. Moses got angry and killed the Egyptian, hiding his body in the sand. The next day, seeing 2 Hebrews quarreling, he endeavored to separate them, whereupon the aggressor complained, "Who put you in charge of us and made you our judge? Are you planning to kill me, just as you killed that Egyptian?" The Pharaoh now sought Moses' life, and he fled across the Sinai Peninsula to the land of Midian. In Midian, Moses settled with Jethro, a priest of Midian. Moses eventually married Zipporah, the daughter of Jethro. There he lived as a shepherd, during which time his son Gershom was born. According to a late tradition recorded in Acts 7:23 and 7:30, Moses was 40 years old at the time he began his exile in Midian, and he endured 40 more years of exile in Midian before he returned to Egypt. There is nothing in the narrative of the Hebrew Bible to indicate this chronology. Rather, it relates that Moses left for Midian as an unmarried man, married shortly after arriving in Jethro's camp, and returned to Egypt with his wife and their son who was but a child. According to Exodus 3, one day as Moses led his flock to Mount Horeb, he saw a burning bush which was not consumed. When he turned aside to look more closely at the marvel, God spoke to him from the bush and commissioned Moses as his prophet and the liberator of the people of Israel. The Lord said, "I have come down to rescue my people from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt." Moses was still not satisfied. He asked that a spokesperson be given him, someone of eloquent speech whom the people would trust. God sent him his brother Aaron, a well-respected leader of the Hebrew community, to go before Moses as his spokesperson. Moses returned to Egypt, where he was met on his arrival by his elder brother, Aaron, and gained a hearing with the elders of his oppressed brethren. It was a more difficult matter, however, to persuade the Pharaoh to let the Hebrews depart, supposedly only for a short journey in order to offer sacrifices to their deity. God gave Moses the power to perform powerful signs to demonstrate his authority, such as turning a staff into a snake and turning the Nile into blood, yet the Pharaoh's heart was hardened. God then sent 10 plagues upon the Egyptians, each one predicted by Moses. Still the Pharaoh refused the Lord's command through Moses, "Let my people go." Instead, he punished the Israelites by making their work even harder. The plagues finally culminated in the slaying of the Egyptians' firstborn sons. The Hebrews were protected from this calamity by painting a lamb's blood on their doorposts, a sign for the angel of death to pass over their homes. This story is commemorated in the Feast of Passover, celebrated by Jews throughout their history. Only after the king's own son died in this plague did he finally give permission for the Hebrews to leave. The Hebrews gathered up all their belongings, taking their flocks and herds, and moved east towards the Red Sea. They were guided by a miraculous pillar of cloud by day and pillar of fire by night. Eventually, they found themselves facing the sea. Meanwhile, Pharaoh had a change of heart and chased Israelites with a large army. Shut in between this army and the water, the Israelites despaired. Instructed by God, Moses held out his rod, and the waters of the sea miraculously divided so that the people of Israel passed safely across on dry ground. When the Egyptians attempted to follow, the waters closed back upon them, they drowned. After escaping the Egyptians, the Bible reports that the Israelites camped at Rephidim, where they were fed miraculously with manna and quail, and with water which Moses produced from a rock. Under the military leadership of Moses' disciple Joshua, they prevailed in war against the Amalekites. Finally, they camped at Sinai, where Moses climbed to the summit and fasted for 40 days. While on Mount Sinai, Moses received the 10 Commandments inscribed on 2 stone tablets, along with the laws of the covenant, which included both customary law and ritual ordinances together with God's instructions for the construction and operation of a portable religious sanctuary, the tabernacle. Following several more trials and battles, the Israelites finally make themselves ready to enter the promised land. Moses commissions Joshua as his successor, instructing him to be strong and bold in leadership. Approaching Canaan from the east through today's territory of Jordan, the book of Deuteronomy ends the saga with an account of Moses' death on Mount Nebo, where God allows him to view the promised land even though he cannot enter. It mentions that his gravesite remains unknown. Moses is a towering personality in Jewish history. The book of Deuteronomy acknowledges this fact in the following eulogy. Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, who did all those miraculous signs and wonders the Lord sent him to do in Egypt to Pharaoh and to all his officials and to his whole land. For no one has ever shown the mighty power or performed the awesome deeds that Moses did in the sight of all Israel.